We call ourselves farmers and futurists. We joke now that the robots are roaming through the hills of Appalachia.
Moorhead, Kentucky, population 7,500. In the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains, a region that has suffered economic distress, the small town just welcomed its newest neighbor, AppHarvest. A colossal high-tech bid on the future of agriculture. It's a greenhouse operation that spans almost 2.8 million square feet. You recently made headlines for building the biggest greenhouse in America, spanning some 60 acres. What do you see as the future of agriculture technology or ag tech?
It's controlled environment agriculture. We have to figure out how to grow a lot more food with a lot less resources, all the while in the middle of climate disruption.
Jonathan Webb is a Kentucky native and the founder of AppHarvest.
These vines grow to be about 45 feet in height, so they're not your grandmother's tomato plant.
He's on a mission to change prevailing narratives about farming as he shows us his vision for sustainable agriculture in this controlled environment where more than 700,000 tomato plants are growing with the assistance of tech.
So these are a little bit longer to go, but as you can see, a good vine-ripe tomato without any harsh chemicals.
Could you walk me through some of the technologies that you're using to help bring about sustainable crop production?
So now, the next great technological revolution in American farming, it's going to be AI, robotics, and it's going to be data-driven.
The eyes live back here. There's a big collection of cameras and other sensors that actually try to find what are the fruits that are ready to harvest.
Still in its early stages, Virgo is an agricultural robot designed to monitor and harvest different crops at their optimal ripeness.
So when you have a fleet of these robots and they're all doing this task over and over again, tasks that you can't even really simulate because interacting with a plant is highly physical. And so amassing that very unique data set that we have is what makes this smarter every time it goes to pick.
For Chief Technology Officer Josh Lessing, the entire operation of AppHarvest also works like a robot.
This 60-acre robot that we're in, it allows you to control the light, it allows you to control the heat, it allows you to control the nutrition. If we can control the crop, we can steer the crop, we can forecast where it's going.
Really, almost every facet of what we do connects to sustainability. Running a greenhouse is energy intensive. We have a horizontal design, so we have amazing passive solar coming into this particular design, which gives us a real benefit in terms of less energy consumption.
Along with an array of LED lights that supplement the sun's rays, AppHarvest is irrigating its plants with only recycled rainwater, which is stored in a retention pond that holds the equivalent of 75 Olympic-sized swimming pools. According to the World Bank, more than 70% of the world's fresh water use goes towards agriculture.
We run completely on recycled rainwater. So when you talk about sustainability and resiliency, I mean, what we really need to be doing is, yes, what technologies are available, but let's align with nature, put nature first, and then use technology to push nature from behind.
With its rows upon rows of tomatoes and more than 500 employees, AppHarvest says it is able to produce 45 million pounds of the fruit each year in its facility. The company says it plans to also grow other vine crops and leafy greens in the future. In creating AppHarvest, Webb says he is building on best practices gleaned from greenhouse technology developed in the Netherlands.
The Netherlands is a country a third the size of Kentucky in landmass, and they have the second most agricultural exports in the world, only behind the US. So they're growing a lot of food using very little resources, and they're doing that by using technology.
And what you see now is that people in the US discover the potential of greenhouses. So I think in the US, there are many investments, both in vertical farms, but also in greenhouses.
So is this solution that you have pioneered through AppHarvest there in Kentucky something that can be replicated across the world, even here in Asia?
We don't have a choice. Whether it's our company or someone else, China and India have 40% of the world's population, less than 10% of the world's fresh water. How are we going to feed continents?
With the promise of precision agriculture, accompanied by robots and LEDs, Webb says he's hopeful that farming can be transformed for the better.
Agriculture has got to be disrupted, and we need innovation. And we're hopeful that with discussions like this, hopefully more people will get at the table and start to figure this out.